All right, g'day and welcome to Friday, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Let's get into today's market review. I wanted to kick off today with a look back at the ES short trade that I took during New York Open yesterday. And I just wanted to talk about how I framed that trade. So we'll have a look at that first. Let's jump over to the chart. All right, so here's the position. So we've taken a 1 minute entry here. All right, so here's our breaker, high, low, higher high. This is the formation we look for. Okay. Got our stop hunt. Price moves through and displaces through the breaker block, and by displacement we mean leaves fair value gaps behind. We close outside of the breaker. Entry on the breaker with a limit order. Stop loss at the highs. TP2R. And I mean, price easily reached 2R. If you had a runner, you would have had a very nice trade there. The executions aren't on because it was on a funded account, and when they reset the executions every day, so you lose the executions. But if we have a quick look over here at Twitter, where I posted the trade, you can see there's our entry and there's our exit. That's on that candle at 2R. So it was a nice New York Open trade. So let's roll out some time frames here. So I'm going to go to the daily first. The most recent information we had yesterday was that we'd swept these highs, sweep here. Tuesday's candle had swept Monday's high, was unable to close above, closed below Monday's high. Then we had rapid sell-off on Wednesday. So my idea was that we were reaching for internal, external to internal, which is why my bias was bearish. Now, I only use the daily for bias, so that I don't look at any other time frames generally, unless I'm not getting a clear idea. Then I might look at the weekly just to see where we're positioned. But otherwise, I only look at the daily. So then dropping down to the hourly for a time frame alignment. And you can see that we had our sweep high here with a bearish bearish breaker. So I've run the standard deviations out of that and targeting this internal, the -2 to -2.5, aligned with our internal down here, -4, slightly lower, and you can see that price nailed that max extension beautifully. So did we get a sweep on the lower time frame into a higher time frame on the hourly? We could look at, we had a sweep of an hourly swing high here. Okay, but the entry was on the 1 minute. So was there a position on the 5-minute chart? So if you were using this higher time frame here, the hourly, there's your sweep. We did push lower and then we moved higher. So that would be your stop hunt into a higher time frame point of interest. And then this is, you would probably use, this candle here as your breaker, your lowest down close, because this bearish candle here is on the leg that took liquidity. Okay, so that would be your breaker. All right, so this is where that pivots from down to up. So this is in the leg that took liquidity, so you wouldn't be using this down close. This would be the down close on the 5-minute, and you wouldn't have got a fill. There is a position here, but you wouldn't have got filled. At the time, we were looking at where price was here. So to take advantage of this price level, I moved out to the 4-hour to see where we were. Apologies, I moved to the 15-minute to see where price was positioned on the 15-minute. Okay, and price was within and had swept into this 15-minute FVG. Now I'm not trying to confuse anyone here, but looking at time frame alignment, we then want to look at the 4-hour and see where price was. So this was our high here. So we didn't actually get a 4-hour sweep. We had momentum on our side, but there was no sweep here on the 4-hour. And like I said, and this is where it comes down to independent thinking, I only use the daily for my bias. So for me, I don't use the 4-hour. Very rarely look at the 4-hour, but I do flip between 15-minute for swing highs and FVGs, as I did here. And my bias was bearish, so looking at this price action here, we had swept into this FVG, and then we started to move away. So we dropped down to the 1 minute. Here we go. So it was at that moment in time that we had our formation of the unicorn. Down, up, down. Execution. And 2R. So it was a really nice trade. Happy to walk away with some cash considering the issues that have been plaguing Tradeovate this week. So it was good that I was able to get a trade away without any hiccups. Okay. That said, let's clear the charts and let's have a look at today's price action. So I was actually hoping to see NQ, reach lower and take out these equal lows here into this internal. It hasn't done that, so let's work with the most recent information we have. A daily external range liquidity here, swing low. So external, what do we have here? We have internal. So looking at price to move higher. So bullish daily on NQ. Clear that up. Drop down to the hourly. So on the hourly at the moment, we don't really need to highlight too much here because it's clearly been pushing down, respecting bearish PD arrays into this FEG here. Respected, pushed away. It's done that the whole way through here. Another one down. Again here, down. So these is the equal highs that were formed before that move down yesterday. So, might be a potential draw for today. So we'll keep an eye on that. We do have a sweep of the lows here. Slight sweep, but it's there. So we want to see, we need to see price, be decisive here and start to push higher. If price was to move from here and just keep going higher, then this would be an area we'd be looking for a change in the state of delivery. But we're just going to have to wait and see what price does. One thing we haven't looked at is we'll just quickly look at the calendar. And you'll see that there's no news today. All right, so we can trade after 9:30, that's no problem. But we just want to be aware that there'll be likely a little bit less volatility than there normally would be with no news injecting that liquidity into the market. So we'll just wait and see here. There's nothing to say for me yet that there is bullish signature here just yet. So until my structure is aligned with my bias, I wouldn't look to participate. At this stage. All right, let's jump to ES. So here we are on the daily. So price came into internal, which was a nice level there because that was in a discount level as well of this dealing range. Our external liquidity is sitting here at the moment, so I'm not saying we're getting there today, but the idea is that we're moving from internal to external. Okay. I like that this was in a discount. I like that price is respecting this daily bullish FEG. So we can look at the idea of having a bullish bias today on ES. It's dropping down to the hourly. Pretty much a similar story to what NQ was telling us. Bearish structure, not confirmed yet for any change in the state of delivery, or bullish other than having a sweep of this low, which gives us our high resistance liquidity. We then have where NQ had equal highs, ES has a lower high, so we can have this as our low resistance liquidity. And again, all the way through here as well. Same scenario, be looking for at this level at this stage to confirm any change in the state of delivery. If it was to happen, then that would be the level at the moment. Of course, if price decides to come back down for another swipe and then pushes through, or then that might move the change in state of delivery. However, with the current formation here, that would be our level. So same scenario here. I would be neutral on our hourly structure. So I would be looking for some signatures in price to give me an alignment in bias, and then if a position presents, look to execute after 9:30. All right, jumping to CL. So there is a contract change at the moment. So just be aware of that. It seems to be taking a couple of days for some reason. If you use the current contract, which is CLU 2024, you'll notice there's a slight difference in these highs here. Just work with the chart you're on and with the information you've got. Okay, that's my advice. I use CL1, the continuation contract. So I use the information that's given to me on this chart. So we had price sweep the low here. So our bias yesterday was bullish. Not yesterday, sorry. What's that? Tuesday, that's right. Wednesday, our bias was bullish to move to internal. We closed through internal. And our idea was to remain bullish with this aggressive close and the move above. I was anticipating this high to be swept. It actually didn't sweep it. It's bang on equal highs. However, now, looking at the most recent information that's in front of us here, we've got internal. Prices swept into internal there. So I'll be looking to target these highs today. So from internal to external. So bullish on oil. Let's drop to the hourly. So we had a change in state of delivery. We do have a high and a low here, so we can project from there for our standard deviations. We can see price reached to the level -2 here. These are our equal highs. High 82.27, 82.27, so exactly the same. Yeah. And that are aligned with the -2. So when we get to a region like this, the -2, then we can expect consolidation or retracement, and we got retracement in this case. Okay, but we have seen retracement into this hourly bullish FEG, which again, if we look at the dealing range here, in a level of discount, and it's supported price. This would be low resistance liquidity, high resistance liquidity, because we swept these lows, okay? Low resistance. So I am looking at this chart and thinking to myself, then yes, this to me is showing bullish signatures, and we can target those highs once again. So daily bullish, hourly bullish. And with commodities, we can look to execute from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dixie, let's go. Jump out to the daily. So Dixie swept external liquidity. Our bias currently has been bullish for the last couple of days. Our bias is playing out. So I'm going to remain bullish on Dixie, moving from external to internal. So we can see we had a sweep here. Breaker with an FEG aligned, close above the breaker. Breaker's been respected, price is pushed away nicely. We've inverted these hourly FEGs as well, these SIBIs. And LR is about 50% complete there. And it's even here is LR because it's a swing low or a failure swing through there. So bullish on the hourly for Dixie. Gold, let's go gold. So we had a nice bias play out. So we were short yesterday. That was our idea because we were moving from external to internal, located here. Now looking at the chart today, what do we see? Well, generally our idea would have been, okay, we're going to look for price to move higher. Price is telling us something different at the moment. It's disrespected this level of internal liquidity here. So our next level of liquidity is right here, this small gap. Let's see where that is in this range. In discount, look at that. So with that said, I'd be looking for price to reach towards this gap here. So a bearish bias on gold today. All right, let's go to the hourly. High resistance liquidity. Breaker, hourly breaker with FVG aligned. Price respects the consequent encroachment or mean threshold, whatever you like to call it. Where are we? Put the midpoint on. Okay, price respects that, pushes away nicely. LR down here. We project from our high to our low. Prices closed below the negative 2.5. What can we expect? We can expect or anticipate at least that price will extend to our max extension of our negative 4. And I like that this aligns with our low resistance liquidity here as well. So bearish on the daily and bearish on the hourly. Time frame alignment, beautiful. So I'd be looking to execute after 9 again. Like oil, after 9, we can search for a position. Remember guys, I'm going to wrap it up there, but couple of things. Remember that there is still some trade evade issues floating around. I believe you can't trade on Apex at the moment. I did take a trade on my funded futures at my own risk last, well, I say last night for me, but yesterday morning, New York. It worked for that trade. A trade earlier, it didn't work. I took a trade on CL and price went through my limit order and then came back up through my limit order and didn't do anything. So I just closed and left that alone. So just keep that in mind, that there could still be some bugs out there. Appreciate you guys joining, watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. I'd love you to share my channel around with your fellow trading buddies. I'd like to help as many traders as I can in their journey. Comment, feedback, really appreciate it all. And make sure you use code Jimmy for any My Funded Futures or Apex accounts. Look in the description, you'll see the links to everything, to my book, the timestamps as well. So check the description. We'll give you plenty of information down there. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great last trading day of the week, and we will see you next week.